This is it, everyone. It is the final video of this season. This is the last word. So here we go, people. The very last word of the season. Don't worry though, a bit like the pandemic a little bit earlier, when there was no football on, we had tons of videos. Same here. Even the off season, we've got tons of videos, loads of different ideas coming your way on both this channel and the second channel, NFTV Extra. And don't forget, we've got a new system coming in place, and we've also got new members to be announced in a day or two. But let's crack on with it. This is the last word we're going to hear from Johnny in a moment. Let's take a look first at Liverpool's lineup, and it was a very much under strength side. If you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, you've got Salah, you've got Firmino and Mane all sitting on the bench. Jordan Henderson's not even considered. There's 4 world-class players there. I'll let you describe who the 4 out of those 5 are world-class. But yeah, a lot of youngsters. We've seen Williams come in. I was a bit surprised not to say Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott start, but that lineup was still very much under strength and still dominated Newcastle, let's be honest. Speaking of the tune, let's have a look at what Bruce went with. And again, surprising us all, Danny Rose again at left centre-back. Javi Manquillo at right centre-back. We all thought it was going to be a flat-back 4 with Rose at left-back, Manquillo at right-back, and then possibly Hayden might start, but Hayden didn't make it. So it was back to wing-backs, Bentaleb and Shelvey. Sean Longstaff not quite ready to do full match. No Matty again. I think he's out the door, to be honest with you. And then he's seen Alan Saint-Maximin rather being out on the wing. He was tucked in. Didn't see enough of him, to be fair. And then obviously Dwight Gale. But first things first, what a start. 26 seconds in, our quickest goal this season, where Van Dijk trips up Alan Saint-Maximin. It might be the first time that Van Dijk's been beaten this season. But quick free kick, brilliant thinking by Jonjo Shelvey, just smart, isn't he? Clips it through to Dwight Gale. He's in on goal, he scores. Alisson gets a touch, but it still goes in the back of the net. VAR was checked for a long time. It must have been about 2 minutes, but thankfully they give it, and Anthony Taylor blew it for a goal. Newcastle got off to a flying start, and to be honest, it was all Liverpool who had dominated the possession. It took a while for them to have a real first chance. Clear cut where Minamino has a shot from outside the box, and it's oh, what a save by Dubravka. Tips it round, world class. He's made the most saves this season for a reason. Yes, he's got a mistake, but you'd rather have Dubravka in first choice, wouldn't you? Him or Alan Saint-Maximin. But the goal came when Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain had a lot of time on that right hand side to clip one in. And yeah, I have to say it's a brilliant header by Van Dijk. You might say you got to get tighter marker, but it's a brilliant header. You've got to say that. Loops. Dubravka kind of doing that about it. It's a fantastic header. And there's the equaliser. It was only around about 5 minutes later, Chamberlain himself had a pop from just outside the box, and that just goes wide. Obviously, he'll want to do well against Liverpool with his missus being in a girl band and support to the tune. And of course, which had Wijnaldum and Milner in centre midfield as well, so a few connections with Newcastle and as the club in the city. But going into half time, you're thinking 1-1. You'll settle for that, wouldn't you? Because I would. We're playing a world-class opposition today. Yes, they dominated and they should have been in front, but second half, we've seen Alan Saint-Maximin withdrawn. Joe Linton was brought on. And a stat for you, Joe Linton's, along with Martin Dubravka, is the only player who's played in all 38 games in the Premier League this season. So he came on, didn't really much have an effect, to be honest, but then again, ASM didn't either, not his greatest game. Don't like him through the middle, didn't get much of the ball. But then we've seen another injury. Bentaleb went off. Sean Longstaff came on and he had an immediate shot, which Gale deflected and was a few yards wide, but that was the only chance second half. And then Liverpool started getting on the ball, they were just waiting, they were patient, looking for the chance to break through. And Origi picks the ball up, and yeah, Manquillo should shove him down the outside, but you have to say it's a great hit. Venom, not really questioning Dubravka on that one again. It's a great hit, and that was the last piece of action that Divock Origi had, because and then Liverpool brought on Salah, Mane and Firmino, man. Oh, God, they came on. Salah had a few chances, to be honest with you. He hit the post. Fernandes with a fantastic recovery to block him. So you thought, oh, he's never going to get his chance, because obviously he wants to get that 20 Premier League goals. But as the game was dying out, we didn't really threaten, to be honest with you. And Mane scores an absolutely brilliant curler from the edge of the box. What a talent. 3-1, game wrapped up, fantastic finish. Liverpool win the game pretty comprehensively. I've got no questions about it today. in terms of the opposition that outplayed us, that outdominated the champions for a reason. The only slight gripe is with the tactics that Bruce went with. Wing-back system at home, last game of the season. Can you go for it? Can you change the formation during the game to try and get something out of the game? You got now to lose. We were only playing for 13th and 14th, with Palace not beating Spurs. So Newcastle finished where they are. And since we're talking about the league table as well, we'll do both. We'll have a look at the top of the Premier League first. So Liverpool champions, Manchester United got that Champions League spot just ahead of Chelsea. Leicester, despite their fantastic season since coming out of the lockdown football, they've been awful, haven't they? They've been very hit and miss, and that's cost them a Champions League place. But I believe Jamie Vardy's picked up the Golden Boot. But you have to say it's a fantastic season still to finish 5th, just missing out on the Champions League. Spurs will obviously get the Europa League spot as well. But if we look at the bottom end of the Premier League, and I hate to say this, because Aston Villa somehow have managed to stay up. In all honesty, they shouldn't really be where they are, having spent over 100 million, and they only just managed to scrape it on the last day of the season. The positives, if you go away games like we do, is that you've got rid of Watford, Norwich and Bournemouth, 3 massive long away days, and you're replacing them with a kind of similar journey with a West London club or a Cardiff or Swansea. And then you've got West Brom, which is a shorter drive, and Leeds, which is just over an hour. So that's probably better for Toon fans going to away games next season when we can go to them. But let's quickly hear from Steve Bruce before we hear from Jonny, and this was his reaction about the game today.
Yeah, we had a great start, just what you want, and that gives you a little bit of belief to hang on and try and keep asking them a question or two. But certainly towards the end, that quality, you know, when you bring on them 3, that quality, you can see why they cause damage to most teams.
I know I feel very proud, but I think I've got loads of family, friends, even the coach and staff going to be really proud of me as well, so it's a good feeling.
It's been a great few weeks for myself, but it's going to be vital that we get a good pre-season, and then hopefully the fans are back to cheer us on, because we're missing them.
I was delighted with the way we showed up and we had a go at. It was never going to be easy, and we knew our run in towards the end was difficult. Man City twice, Tottenham, Liverpool. It's been a big ask, but overall, you know, I think we would have accepted where we are. Of course, this great club of ours needs to be higher than where we are, but we would have accepted it at the start.
You know, Danny came over at the drinks break and said his hammy was feeling it a bit, so when I heard that, and then Aga said to go down warm up, it was like, you know, this could be it. And then when he called us over, I was just, to be honest, more excited more than anything. I just wanted to get out, play against the best players in the world, and it was great. Yeah. They're
the 12th man for us, and we obviously miss them with games like this when they get behind us and they give us that extra urge. And obviously we thank them for the first 3 quarters of the season. Hopefully they can help us for the next season.
He just wanted to say a thank you. He wanted to say thank you for all the hard work and have a good summer. And basically that was it. Now I think the clarity is still there with the Premier League, and that's one thing we'll obviously have to try and find out if we best we possibly can.
And Bruce has also came out with quotes today. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen here for you, about quotes about the takeover. He's mentioned all the time he needs clarity, and Mike Ashley's told him that it's with the Premier League. There's not much more he can do. So again, it's just a waiting game. We need that because we can't. Transfer targets, progress. Do we need to hold on to people because we can't get other people in? It goes round in a circle, doesn't it? And I asked Jonny to send in a clip about how you feel the seasons went from the start to the end with Rafa, with Steve Bruce, and where we're finished in the table, and who's been the highlights. Jonny?
How do I think Steve Bruce has done? I think he's done the bare minimum. That is keep Newcastle in the division next season. And you know, you've got to look at 44 points, 13th place. That's 1 point less than Rafa Benitez. So that'll keep some of the pundits quiet. But look, in that sense, he has done a good job. In that sense, because Newcastle are 10 points clear of Watford, who got relegated today. And I think Watford, maybe even Bournemouth, got probably a better team on paper than Newcastle. So, look, if you're asking me what did I expect from Steve Bruce, can you keep us in the division? He's done that. So you probably, if you're looking at my scoring of players, he probably gets a 6 out of 10 for that. My biggest issue is that if this takeover happens, has he got the ambition to take us forward, or can he take us forward? Can he push us up in the top 10? I don't think he can. I'm not saying he's a bad manager. I just don't think he can take us to the heights. And I think if there is new investors in this football club, they'll want their own new man. And that's where I worry for Steve Bruce, because I don't think he will get the backing. I think he'll be told, thank you so much for doing the job that you've done, but we want to go a different way. It's $1 million question. How can Newcastle not move up if they don't get a takeover? It won't. It will probably be a bit lower. You look at the 3 teams that have been promoted, or the 2 teams at the minute, and possibly Brentford. They've got probably stronger teams than Newcastle. So it's going to be an interesting few weeks, but Newcastle are going to be in a dogfight next season if they're not being taken over, and Steve Bruce is going to have to probably perform miracles again for Newcastle to be safe for another season. But get your comments in and I'll bring you back to Lee.
Right then, that is it. That is a wrap, the final wrap up of all the videos as I've touched upon earlier. There is still loads more videos, so don't go away. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe. We'll have loads of stuff like documentaries that's coming. We've got Malcolm McDonald interviews. We've got an entertainer on the channel on Wednesdays, a separate video. There was loads, and there's loads on NFTV Extra with Owen's video with Matthew Raisbeck. There's tons and tons of videos that are going to be coming as we head into pre-season, and then we'll be at those games. Well, I say we'll be at the games, it won't be allowed, it's October, I've just remembered. But anyways, see you later everyone, ta-da.
Hey you, I saw you from the distance. Hey you, can we talk?